You chose absolutely right tuning in to Rwanda Television tonight. A very good evening to you and many thanks for joining us on today's edition. As always, we'll begin off with the headlines. Only 9% of the ministers and ministers of state who began with the 2017-2024 term remain in government.
The Rwanda Mines, Petroleum and Gas Board announced an immediate suspension of all beryllium mineral exports.
Good evening to you once again, and we appreciate your company tonight on Rwanda Television News. My name, as always, is Sam Kalisa.
And mine, Martina Avera.
How are you doing today, Martina?
I'm very good. How has your Thursday been?
Very good and energetic.
All right.
Yes, we'll begin it off.
Yes, starting things off on Thursday at Village Urugwiro, President Paul Kagame received Honorable Haile Mariam Desalegn, former Prime Minister of Ethiopia and board chair of the Alliance for Green Revolution in Africa, and Dr. Agnes Kalibata, President of AGRA, ahead of the annual Africa Food Systems Forum scheduled for the 2nd to the 6th September in Kigali. This year's forum is being held under the theme of Innovate, Accelerate and Scale, delivering food systems transformation in a digital and climate era, and brings together stakeholders in African agriculture to take practical action in moving African food systems forward.
And moving it ahead to other matters on Thursday, the Minister of Defense, Honorable Juvenal Madizamunda, and the Chief of Defense Staff of the Rwanda Defense Force, General Mubarak Muganga, received Lieutenant General Wang Zokong, Deputy Commander and Chief of Staff of the Central Theater Command of the Chinese People's Liberation Army, along with his delegation, who are on a 4-day official visit to Rwanda. They discussed ways of strengthening existing cooperation between the Rwanda Defense Force and the Chinese People's Liberation Army. Earlier today, the delegation toured the Combat Training Center in Gabiro and will visit the Rwanda Military Academy in Gako on Friday. On Wednesday, the delegation paid respect to the victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi at the Kigali Genocide Memorial and visited the Campaign Against Genocide Museum.
The Rwanda Mines, Petroleum and Gas Board has announced an immediate suspension of all beryllium mineral exports. This decision follows reports that beryllium mining has generated 1 billion Rwandan francs up to July this year. We have more on this report.
Beryllium is a chemical element whose compounds are found in other minerals such as coltan, which is largely found in Rwanda's mountainous areas. Its compounds are used in various industrial end products, including aerospace, in aircraft braking systems, engines, satellites, space telescope, in automotive, particularly anti-lock brake systems and ignitions, and in ceramic manufacturing, particularly rocket covers, semiconductor chips, and more. The demand for the mineral has been increasing over the time, with more attention drawn to the African continent.
The
mineral is available here in Rwanda, although there hasn't been comprehensive research about it, which is what we are going to do. The increase in its demand, as well as prices, increased the disorder in its mining, sometimes resulting into accidents. As the mining board, we decided to suspend the mining and exportation so as to improve the business procedures. The suspension comes as a result of reports of illegal mining and trading of the mineral. Those who export beryllium ask for permit from the mining board. Exports have been increasing, and at the same time, many people have been coming from foreign countries looking for the mineral here in Rwanda. As a result, many people, including those with no licenses, have been venturing into the business. Consequently, we decided to suspend beryllium trading in order to establish the necessary procedures. 1 ton of beryllium is sold for $3,000 US. A ton of refined beryllium is worth $300,000. The announcement indicated that during this suspension period, the Rwanda Mining Board will conduct a comprehensive review of the reported cases of illegal activities and implement improved export procedures to streamline the beryllium business.
Kuri iki gihe nibyo tuvuga ko tubanza kubiha umurongo bose ubu barahagaze.
As we establish clear policies, trading activities are on hold, including those with trading licenses and those with mining licenses, so that there won't be increased disorderly.
Ntihinjiremo yayandi yacukuye ku ruhande. Kuko cyane cyane ibibazo birimo kuvuka hari ahantu hadafite impushya.
The suspension comes at a time when Rwanda's mineral export revenue has increased from $772 million to more than $1.1 billion, closing in on the target of generating $1.5 billion in annual mineral export revenues by 2024. A report published by the Rwanda Mining and Gas Board (RMB) in February 2024 showed that the above growth recorded in 2022 and in 2023 represented a 43% growth year-on-year. Not later than the year 2026, a digital currency will start to be used here in Rwanda. Currently, policies and laws are being established to favor the implementation and usage of this currency. Economic experts find this to be impactful in economic development, including job creation. Prince Manzi brings us the details.
Jacques Habimana is an entrepreneur in currency exchange. He's unaware of the digital currency. Here in Rwanda, we hear it as news. This digital currency literacy is also mutual for other traders in Kigali. There are foreign clients who come here asking for this digital currency, but if it starts, they will get familiar, so will Rwandans at large. They come asking if we use the cryptocurrency, and we tell them that we do not. Our operations are also monitored, so we stick to the systems eligible here. On the other hand, these citizens are also eager to learn more about the digital currency and ready to introduce it in their businesses as soon as they are licensed by the central bank. We are always ready to adapt to the cashless economy. We can also adapt the digital currency if trained. There is also a concern if it involves technology, because we do hear of such cases of theft online. Economic experts stress on the role of the digital currency in the country's economic development. Teddy Kaberuka, an economic expert, reiterates that the government is to raise awareness on the usage of this currency to be beneficial as soon as it is introduced. There should be a way of training people in the use of this digital currency. We are moving from traditional transactions to digital currency, so there should at least be experts in the field locally to avoid the market to be occupied by foreigners. Cryptocurrency and Bitcoin are mostly used digital currencies worldwide. Central bank digital currency is the name of the digital cash said to be used in Rwanda. The central bank research demonstrates that digital currency will impact highly the cashless economy. After this research, a law will be initiated not later than 2026, and it will be followed by the use of this currency locally.
Among the ministers and state ministers who began their tenure at the start of the 2017-2024 presidential term, only about 9% remain in government as the term draws to a close. Analysts view this as evidence of a leadership style that prioritizes accountability and avoids complacency. Olive Nete has more on this report.
Some have termed it the speedy development presidential term, while others refer to it as the term of diversity. It began with 20 ministers and 11 state ministers. On August 31, 2017, during the swearing of this government, the President of the Republic emphasized that Rwanda is a nation of uniqueness, urging the ministers to keep this in mind as they served.
Some of the responsibilities we failed to fulfill are actually quite easy. Yet their neglect can lead to serious and significant consequences. Our country has its own unique characteristics, and when responsibilities are not met adequately, it has a profound impact, resulting in our inability to meet the needs and expectations of Rwandans. I emphasize this point regularly. I do not expect anyone to perform tasks beyond their capacity. We are all human, and I do not ask for the impossible. What I urge you to do is to fulfill your responsibilities within your capabilities, which you have skills for.
Senator Uwizeyimana Evode, a former member of the government, affirms that the selection of government members has been driven by their ability to address the country's challenges.
Ikintu cya mbere areba n'ubushobozi bw'umuntu uzamufasha.
The first thing he considers is the capacity of someone who assists or support him in implementing various agendas, such as policies related to education, environmental preservation, and climate change. He carefully evaluates whether the candidate is suitable for the position by assessing various criteria, including educational background, relevant experience, and previous positions held. He looks for factors that would positively influence the choice of a candidate.
At the start of this presidential term, the goal was to achieve at least 90% efficiency in service provision across the three pillars of the government, which are good governance, economic development, and social welfare. Dr. Felicien Usengumukiza, Deputy CEO of the Rwanda Governance Board, observes that over the past 7 years, some responsibilities were not adequately fulfilled, as highlighted in various reports. This underperformance resulted in the dismissal of some leaders.
In some cases where some of the leaders failed to meet their responsibilities or become complacent, various decisions and measures are taken, and just as they were appointed to their positions, they are also evaluated to determine whether they should be reappointed to other roles or dismissed. Additionally, it's common for leaders to be summoned by Parliament to account for their actions and decisions.
Apollinaire Mupiganyi, the Executive Director of Transparency International Rwanda, a non-governmental organization that fights against corruption, highlights the government's commitment to holding leaders accountable. He emphasizes that the government has taken a firm stance against those whose poor performance has jeopardized the country's progress, refusing to tolerate actions that could lead to financial instability.
This is where we have seen what we refer to as a big fish falling. Some are being tried for their actions, while others have acknowledged their failures, and some are still under investigation by the Bureau and the justice system in general. It is said that those being prosecuted or dismissed were the very same people who were supposed to provide solutions and address the issues of the citizens.
Honorable Donatil Mukabarisa, who served as the Speaker of the Chamber of Deputies for 10 years, explains that when citizen-centered leadership is not properly implemented, it prevents the country from achieving people's aspirations. All ideas put together with the aim to promote the development of Rwanda, as well as promoting the development of a Rwandan, are put into consideration, since our work is centered around meeting the needs of Rwandans to foster both individual and national development. And this is the choice of Rwandans. Additionally, the government of Rwanda operates as an independent and sovereign entity grounded in democracy, with the primary aim of advancing the development of its citizens, and what a Rwandan looks forward to is development. President Kagame is widely admired for his relentless pursuit of excellence and zero tolerance for mistakes, qualities that have been instrumental in bringing the country to its current level of success.
We always say that His Excellency Paul Kagame brought this country from afar. We base this on the current development of our country. This gives us hope for the future in terms of governance, justice, and also the good infrastructure that we can be able to see with our own eyes. The housing is currently developing, and we also have sustainable peace.
In various situations and through different approaches, President Kagame has consistently urged leaders to be accountable for their responsibilities, emphasizing that in all their actions, the citizen should remain at the center.
Anyone would ask himself, a minister or any other leader who is here who doesn't know what is in the country that threatens the well-being of the population, you'd question their purpose in their role. What are they here for?
To date, only 3 ministers and state ministers from the previous term remain in government. Beyond the cabinet, significant changes have been implemented at all levels, from local authorities to senior government positions, to accelerate progress. Over the past 7 years, many individuals who misuse the country's resources have been brought to court to face justice. Olive Nete, RTV News.
Thank you, Olive Nete. And moving ahead, parents in Kigali say that teaching different cultural lessons to their children who are in holidays on culture related mostly helps them to fall in love with the country's culture and mother tongue. And most of those activities are related to traditional dances and more. We do have the details with Enora Gladys.
Today, as we are in the holidays for the children, we are just going to visit the Kigali summer camp taking place at Bethesda Holy Church. We are going to see any other kinds of occupations that they are giving to children. We are going to see how they do traditional things that they have been learning.
Kinyarwanda speaking, even for Rwandan nationals, is becoming a concern in the country of 1,000 hills. Some young people and even adults, especially in Kigali city, prefer international languages and slangs to their very own mother tongue. After observing these issues, some stakeholders have put in place initiatives to address it during these holidays.
My name is
Kawandana Songa Justin. I came here at Bethesda to learn more about my culture. I'm 10 years old. I used to do this before at school, and I fully thank my parents for bringing me here in this Kigali summer camp because I enjoyed it. I learned a lot from this summer camp, such as the male traditional dances.
We are in Kagugu in Kigali city. Children aged between 4 and 16 years are learning different things related to the Rwandan culture, specifically the Kinyarwanda language, with their teachers and coaches. Boys are learning Kwivuga, a declaimed heroic poem. Others are learning traditional dances after learning Kinyarwanda.
I learned traditional dance, art, swimming, and modern dance. And languages. I learned how to speak it very well than before.
Teachers who take care of these children says that it has been about a whole month and they have learnt a lot related to the Rwandan culture and that they really enjoy that. Tumukunda Gilbert is one of the teachers who help these children.
Teachers, we know what's going on during the holiday. When kids are on holiday, they're distracted and they get into bad habits. They do acquire bad habits, by hanging out with bad kids and sometimes spending much of their time on TV. They are glued on TV from morning till evening. So that's how we came up with this program, summer camp or summer school, to help the kids to be doing something important so that they may keep getting better in their academics and different things.
Rutayisire Ronald is one of the parents who brought his kids to this program related on cultural activities. He says that it helps their children to grow having a knowledge about their cultural activities, the Kinyarwanda language and several others.
This program was really helpful to us because having children at home in holidays and leaving them alone at home heading to work, normally when they are at school, we also believe that they are in good hands with their teachers. So this is a good thing to get a place where to send kids during these holidays where they are learning cultural things. As parents, we wanted this kind of program because we wanted our kids to learn the Kinyarwanda culture and especially our mother tongue. Surprisingly, they even enjoyed it. There is a big improvement from when we brought them to this program first.
The public institutions in charge of culture encourage parents to collaborate with educational institutions to enforce teaching the Kinyarwanda language to the children. Nora Gladys, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Anara, for that report. On to health matters. Health researchers and educators indicate that the collaboration of medical institutions around the world is essential to finding solutions to the world's health problems. This was echoed on Thursday during the Symposium on Medical Education, which focused on exchanging views about the importance of collaboration between health and education institutions. It was strongly stressed that the COVID-19 pandemic was a clear indicator that the world needs to come together for a common goal towards addressing emerging issues. Officials indicate that the African continent in particular needed to step up efforts in enhancing research-based decisions for the betterment of its health sector and citizens.
This global health partnership is needed because it's about global health, it's about planetary health, it's about universal health. And in order to realize that, we need to work globally. We need to work across all nations, all continents, all parts of the world, so that we can learn from one another's experiences, but we can share our expertise. And today we're going to be talking about the shared expertise in data and in biobanking and genomic databases, because only 2% of the world's genomic information comes from Africa, and yet drugs and tests are still performed in Africa and distributed in Africa and used in Africa. And so we really want to work on the amount of data that we have in Africa that we can use to the betterment of the populations that we serve. And so we're working with really some of the global experts in the field here. And we've managed to bring together some of the very best in this. And we're going to be focusing again on health and education, how not only working in the health service and in the health sector, but how we can mirror that with the development in the education sector around these areas so that we can become renowned and lead in the world.
And transitioning it to more matters, 200 young entrepreneurs from 4 provinces of the country have pitched their innovative projects to the panel of judges under the Aguka Ideation Program. William Evans Mutabazi.
200 young entrepreneurs from 4 provinces have pitched their innovative projects to the panel of judges under Aguka Ideation Program. These competitions were organized by the Ministry of Youth, European Union, UNDP and Imbuto Foundation. We talked to some of the participants and here is what they had to say about their projects.
The name of Bakurangwami Telefosa, and I am a teacher in secondary schools and I come from Chimisagara. My project is about green grow hydroponics. It is growing tomatoes into solution. For my pitching, so I hope this seed capital will be brought to me.
I'm Stacy Nyonzima and I'm from Kigali, Chimihurura. So my project is about helping people with disabilities, where I'm going to create automated solutions, where I'm going to create automatic chairs, where they're going to use voice commands in Kinyarwanda.
I am by the names of Joseline Tizede. I'm a student at RICA, Rwanda Institute for Conservation Agriculture, there at Ugesera. And my project is Maize Guard. It's eco-friendly, it's non-toxic and environmental friendly also.
Ms. Andizeye, the program's coordinator from the ministry, says that research projects a failure rate of 80% for many projects in under 5 years.
We have witnesses the project of young people maybe at 3 or 5 years, and they are they are struggling much. So we are coming with this program to facilitate from the ideation. What do you need to know? What package do you need to have so that you can start your business with all the information regarding financial management, taxation, regulation, name it. So the program really supports the young talents, young ideas, so that they can implement their project with much knowledge on how to start and grow their businesses.
Agukadera 4 seeks to harness the power of youth-led businesses by giving them all the necessary training and seed funding through programs such as these. 100 best promising ventures are expected to get $300 each as a seed capital to advance their ideas on 17th of August this year. William Evans Mtabazi, RwandaTV News.
And that's all from us here at RB's Rwanda Television News. On behalf of the entire news production and the technical team, many thanks for being with us on today's edition. My name remains Sam Kalisa.
And mine, Martina Herrera.
And I'll say up until next time,
stay safe
and have a great evening.